your borders are your porous. You're going to Turkey to tell them what? And they don't come back to secure your borders for you. Look at that. The other day, Brigadier General was Abuja that day. Man called for rescue. You were telling you are coming. You come and lift him. And you people wasted time. And from where he was, if was sold out to bandits. And they went to that same point where he was hiding, and he was shot dead. Like a commoner, a brigadier general. A corner was more than an OD. But they said they should level the place. Other games, they're not missing anything, they are war. When is Okwama, they came to Okwama, they level Okwama. When is in the north? Why is it taking them time to level those places? And we don't have forests there. We don't have big rivers. They are deserted. So you can see through. Why you carry people, you can't put you on bike, taking people to pass through to Mubi, for example, Bukuru, Jos. You say you're not seeing them when they're passing. So there's no SIB, there's no police, there's no military intelligence, no DSS to say we're on trade. We just saw them now. Trade them with your drone. You don't even need to run enough to be following them. No. They are on track, they're on location. We are following them to where they're going to spend the night. Then you strike them at night. Know how many people are harmed there, know the exit point and know the entrance point, and you go there and dislodge these people, and we have peace. When it comes to issue in the north, they are very docile to give repeated attack. A brigadier general was killed till now, they don't level any place. But let it be on notice that a brigadier general was murdered in the east, on the south, on the southwest. You hear Operation Zanku. They will dislodge the full everybody there. Zanku everybody out of that place. So they're not being sincere with this fight.
Will support Nigeria's fight against terrorism, expressing readiness to deepen cooperation in military training and intelligence. Speaking at a joint press conference with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during his official visit to the capital, Ankara, Erdogan said that under Tinubu's leadership, Nigeria is taking firm steps against terrorism, and Turkey stands by Nigerian people in the struggle. We are ready to share Turkey's significant experience in counter-terrorism, President spokesman Bayo Nanuga quoted the Turkish leader as saying. The Turkish president said terrorist groups, particularly in the African Sahel region, pose a threat to the continent's stability. Nigerian officials also held meetings with Turkey's leading defense industry firms during the visit and expressed confidence that the outcome of those talks will be positive. Now, with the growing insecurity in the country and the resultant effect on the good citizens of this country, many feel whichever nation reaches out for help is deeply welcome. But the big question remains, how ready is the country's security architecture in utilizing this help and cooperation, and what needs to be done to strengthen our military apparatus? Well, this and more is what this edition of Dialogue is centered on, and that is strengthening Nigerian security architecture. And that's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show, on Dialogue. We're talking about strengthening Nigerian security architecture and what needs to be done to deal with that. But anyway, to really help us talk about this, it's no other person but our Comrade Kelvin Ejumudo. You do know he's a senior special assistant to His Excellency Governor Sherifu Boriwori of Delta State on human rights issues, and also you do know an activist of high repute, and indeed someone that's truly concerned about the security situation in the country. Comrade Kelvin Ejumudo, nice having you on the show. Welcome to it once again.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, and good morning to our esteemed viewers.
Well, anyway, you do know I started with the talk of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visiting Turkey. And honestly, this will be his 36th foreign trip overseas. But anyway, his first official visit to Turkey itself. And well, I do know that a whole lot of issues were signed or discussed yesterday. We're talking about trade, investment, and all of that. But another major thing that took center stage yesterday was that of defense and security. Now, looking at this recent push by Mr. President to get Turkey's help, do you feel it's in order that we are going now to Turkey to get Turkey's help? Because the reason I'm asking this, I could still remember some couple of weeks ago, you raised your concern about us visiting Turkey, especially after Sheikh Gumi requested we also visit Turkey for security help.
Yes, thank you very much. I think, he who is done will seek help so he can stand. And if Mr. President has gone out to seek for help, I think we must be sincere in the level of help we seek for.
Okay.
Now, just like you seeking for help from someone who has not been able to even protect his own self. Perhaps like some countries say they are seeking help from Nigeria to come rescue them or come salvage their own insecurity in their countries. Whereas Nigerian, we also battling high level of insecurity in our country as well. So that, be that as it may, is worrisome.
Okay.
Having said that, I think my own reservations I have is you already have the US coming to assist. You know, it will be better you dwell with them, continue bilateral relationship with them to see how they can help you. If I, for one, would have advised, get a military base for the US in Nigerian soil. That way, it makes the work easier. But I do not know the rationale behind the president going to Turkey. Because Sheikh Gumi said, rather than looking for help from America, they should go and look for help from Turkey. And Turkey is an Islamic state. Using Islamic machinery to fight Islamic terrorists in Nigerian soil, I, for one, am not comfortable with it. Because there will be a high level of compromise.
Okay, well, Comrade Kelvin Ejumudo, I need to step in here and also throw this question to you because, yeah, you talked about the US.
Yes.
And I also do know that there is this Defense Authorization Act releasing about 413 million United States dollars to Nigeria and some other West African countries on account of dealing with terrorism. Yes. I know that act was signed in the US in December of 2025, but the date I can't fully remember. But still talking about that, don't you feel the reason President Tinubu is also visiting Turkey is the main fact that maybe the help from the US is not sufficient enough, and hence he needs to, you know, like you said, who has fallen or he is on the ground needs help to stand. So don't you feel it's an approach he's now seeking for? Because, like you said, we need all the help we can get. Hence, he's visiting Turkey rather than differently.
If he has gone to visit Netanyahu in Israel to seek collaboration, I would have said, okay, it's the right step in the right direction. Not going to Turkey. Turkey also is under the protection of US. So, you know, you're already with the father. What are you going to do with the son? Stick with the plan. Give the US the real data they need to work in your soil. And we'll get this thing done. It won't take up to a year. These guys will live in Nigerian soil. They become too hot for them that they will look for somewhere to go. But you know, going to Turkey because Sheikh Gumi, are you not working without Sheikh Gumi advices? If you are germane that your decision with the US is genuine for the betterment of the country and the people, then let's stick with that. Because we saw the US strike, we saw the effect. Then we also saw how a tweet from the president has put our generals on their toes. I don't see any conversation coming from the Turkey president that will put them on their toes. But when Trump speaks, he acts. And when he acts, it gets results. So I think let's stick with the Trump's plan for the moment and see how we can annex the potentials we have. Let them come and give us a military base. You can even tell the US to put a base in Borno. There's some forest there. And dislodge the armament of ISWAP, ISIS, and also Boko Haram and the host of others terrorizing our country. Because I believe this is the first time our generals have been put to real battle test. So we must change from an analog approach to more digitalized approach in combating crime. We're still using outdated weapons. See what the bandits are carrying. They have launchers, they have good weapons. They are using drones. Bandits are using drones to attack locations. So we must go ahead of them. We must be like 20 times ahead of them. The money is there. The manpower is there. We must ensure that the willpower also must be there from all frontiers. Political will, religious will, put it there and let us get results.
Okay, I want to take you back to what you said, us sticking with the United States. And interestingly enough, as President Tinubu was signing that pact with Recep Erdogan of Turkey, Nigerian Senate at that same time yesterday was also commending the United States for all the military assistance they've given to us. So that's quite a bit interesting. And which brings me to this question. Don't you feel a visit to Turkey and seeking Turkey's help is a way to balance issues? You do know the dynamics of this very country and how not only ethnicity, but religion seems to play a pivotal role in our stability. So don't you feel there's a need to go to the West and there's a need to go to the East to balance this up so that concerns or issues of maybe a certain ethnic nationality or a certain religious sect is being sought after? So don't you feel that's why he had to go to Turkey, to just balance this up and make everybody understand that, well, all I am after is to fight terrorism and not just to dance to the tune of one major part of the world? So is that not the reason? Would it not be commendable that he did so?
It's not commendable going to seek help from Turkey. I'll say it again and again.
But is it not nice he balanced things up?
What was the balancing? You don't play to the gallery when it has to do with human life and national security. You don't play to the gallery of people. The gallery, what the gallery should play up to is to secure the country. It's to ensure that people can move from one point to another point with ease of doing business. You can travel at night and come to your house without fear of being kidnapped. Not to balance emotions. No. The US did not come to say they are coming to kill Muslims in Nigeria. They didn't come to say they are coming to kill Islam in Nigeria. They are coming to end insurgency, terrorism, which is a global threat. They're not coming to say, okay, when they came at this, we didn't get civilian casualty. There was no civilian casualty in the strike, the American casualty in Sokoto State. So that would tell you that they didn't come to say, okay, because you are a Muslim, the US is coming to kill you. No. They are coming to take away those enemies of the state who have sworn to put human life in pain and perjury. So I think going to Turkey is a waste of taxpayers' money. What we should do is get our soldiers, get their morals, give them good pay. Let their welfare and hazard pay be tripled. When a man knows that if he dies today, the family gets like 1 billion or 500 million tomorrow to take care of themselves, he will go all out to fight. Why do you think the US Army, they go all out to defend their country and the police? Because they know their welfare. Even if they drop, their family will not suffer. And that's the first point that gives people the morale and the ego to go full combat. You see them fighting now, somebody are even hiding. But now you be breadwinner now. Bullet touch you now. If you're there as 1 year, your family will suffer. So the care, how do we care for our injured soldiers?
Okay, and we'll come to all of that, and because I'll really be picking your brains as it concerns what needs to be done to indeed win the war against insurgency that have ravaged for so long. But talk about ravaging, well, in case you're joining us, today we're looking at a major discourse on the show. We're talking about strengthening our military or security architecture and how that seemed to be the reason for the recent move by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, especially as he visited Turkey. You do know he signed a whole lot of bilateral agreements. We're talking about that of comments yesterday. But top on the list of the reason he went there was to seek for military assistance, especially as it concerns our fight against terrorism, knowing that the country had indeed done a lot as it concerns counter-terrorism, and we are seeking not just for military assistance, but also for intelligence gathering, and also how we can really defeat the marauding bandits that have bedeviled us for many years. So that's what we're still looking at today on the show. And I will say I have no other person but Comrade Kelvin Ejumudo. You do know he's a senior special assistant to President Amen. We'll come to Governor
We'll get there.
Sheriff Oburiwori on the human rights issues. Well, anyway, before he puts a big amen to my prayer, whether we balance things up or not does not change the fact that we still have 177 Christian worshippers that were adopted in Kajuru, still under the hands of the bandits. And sad enough, we got information that the bandits have requested for 250 million naira and 20 motorcycles before these worshippers will be released. That's the information reaching us. And another sad information reaching us is that just yesterday, 2 persons were killed and 50 women adopted in Castina community. That means the madness still continues. Forgive my language.
Yes, no, your God.
I'm only a bit concerned to ask, upon all the help we've been seeking for and been getting, why is it that this is sounding way beyond us? Why is it that we wake up every morning to sad news of more adoptions and killing rather than a respite on the issues of insecurity in the country? It's a question that's puzzling me, and I know I'm speaking the minds of many Nigerians. Why are we not winning this war? Why are we not seeing the effect of all of these assistance?
We're not winning the war because we are not sincere as a country. That's right. We are not sincere as a country. You want to win a war. You saw what played out in Kaduna State. The police debunked the news that nobody was kidnapped. So that tells you that there's a lacuna somewhere. People are not taking responsibility for their job. And nobody's held accountable. Let it be, if you are the terrorists, deal with the terrorists. Don't pamper them. Don't say they are repentant. When you say someone has repented and you forgive the person and a terrorist and tomorrow he comes again and run away with guns, then what are you doing? We are not sincere. We've seen how the U.S. dealt with terrorists. They don't bargain with them. You go all out. Imagine the effrontery of them demanding for motorcycles.
20.
And by the time you give it to them, they will use that motorcycles to go and do further abduction and kidnaps.
More like a trade.
You do not have a secured border. You are going to seek help from people. How do people secure your borders? What means have you put in place to say, okay, the Borno border, checkmating, those that have been there for too long, remove all the soldiers that have been there. Get fresh hands to go and man the places. Don't do favoritism to post somebody. You know this man is not capable to walk the talk. Because it's your brother and your tribe, and you post him there. And he goes there and sleep on money tonight. All he wants is returns. Not taking the battle to these criminals. It's painful, it's traumatic, what people go through when they're being kidnapped. The government doesn't understand what these people go through. It takes continuous counseling for them to be able to get themselves together. To be in a helpless situation where your life, you don't even know what the value of your life in the next minute. They can take their drugs and act unruly and next people are gone. We must place premium on human life in this country for crying out loud. I'm fed up in every day. You look the news, so sometimes you want to even look the news, you get scared because it means you open it up, someone has been kidnapped. Imagine Katsina State that they were negotiating with bandits. They're holding meetings. Now the same terrorists that they had meeting with is still having a problem with them. And we also, some of us as masters also, we are also the problem. Some Nigerians share these bandits in their homes, in their communities, in their state. It's my brother. They are fighting a just cause. Yeah, what just cause? And you maim people, you rape women, you kill children, you kill men, you forcefully take money from them. You are terrorists. Yeah. You can't try this in some countries. So we must be sincere first and foremost as a country.
So you feel insincerity has been the issue?
Yes.
And do you feel that insincerity also played out with the security agencies coming out to debunk that very kidnap? It's explicit. And how really sad is that narrative?
That's what I'm saying now. Ideally, the commissioner of police in Kaduna State ought to be sacked. It's the number one to give security update. He debunked it to the point that he was saying nobody was kidnapped everywhere, area is cool and calm. You're giving reportage that area is cool and calm and people have been kidnapped. It took him time after the days to not come back and say yes. They were not 100. You're trying to reduce the number. Whereas they were kidnapping. What happened to intelligence gathering? What happened to our intelligence gathering? This people, you can't carry 107 people moving on this. It's a large number. So I wonder how they do it. That nobody go after them. Let all of us be 170 people working on this place. Now people come and say, what's happening? Yeah. Are they doing crusade? Yeah. Is it rally? Yeah. Because it's a crowd. Then you kidnap them, use them to walk from one hill to another hill. Walk. Nobody will come after. Air surveillance will not come. No ground surveillance. Nobody will come and say, okay, we'll monitor them to where they are. This is where they are. Then calculate that you have to strike and rescue the people out of their hands. Until we tell ourselves the bitter truth, let us look. Election is fast approaching. Yeah. So we're getting more of this. Yeah. Because a lot of them are looking for money to stockpile ammunition for themselves and all of that. Some are giving death here, pursuing politics and living human life to suffer. But I bet you when it finally gets to their doorstep, they will sit up.
Now, still talking about getting to their doorstep, and it is now being revealed. Because we're still, let's still remain with the issue of lack of sincere communication between security agencies and Nigeria. We've just had the news that, yes, indeed, there was a coup d'etat, planned coup d'etat, that initially the security of military forces denied, but now it's quite glaring and it's making the rounds on almost all news outlets, be it social media or print media.
And their names, even how they mentioned their names.
Funny enough, some of the names have been mentioned. Yes. But anyway, we're not going to do well on that because everything is still a bit sketchy. Yes. So we'll be getting full-hand information on what transpired. But I want us to come to the issue of lack of sincerity and communication, and how that has really impacted negatively as it concerns security. Because if Nigerians were carried along in the initial stage of, oh, yeah, there was a planned coup d'etat, many Nigerians would have been cautious. If many Nigerians were carried along, yeah, there were really 177 persons that were kidnapped. Maybe you put your eye out for, oh, I saw this, I heard this, yes. I feel this is where it is. So because we're talking about dealing with security. One of the biggest problems many feel that our security architecture is facing is a lack of information and intelligence gathering. Do you see a lack of also sincerity in their part as a stumbling block in getting persons willing to also come out, share information, and give the needed information to security agencies?
Yes.
I really want you to react to that.
One, interagency collaboration. We saw what played out the other time in Niger State. The DSS gave an advice that there's a plan, kidnap. The police, the governor, and the military were there. Someone gave an order, they left. Immediately they left, they came and were kidnapped. Till date, my career, nobody has been made accountable. Who ordered the military to leave at that point before they came to kidnap? No, not one person has been saying, okay, we've identified the caller, it's so and so person that gave the order that they should leave and before they were kidnapped. Now that person will be investigated. Why did you ask them to leave that beat at that time? And just one hour after, people were kidnapped. So in all of this, there's no interagency collaboration, one. Two, there's no proper synergy. Three, there's no sincerity of purpose. Everybody wants to do their own work separately. And you can't achieve it going forward. You can't achieve this. You see the US, you have the SWAT, LAPD, NYPD, police sheriffs, on everybody. They work together for the common good of the Americans. In same vein too, in Nigerian soil, we need the DSS, the military, the police, the civil defense, also with the citizens also to fully collaborate to get this properly. But if they are admitted on time, somebody will say, I saw people passing through my backyard. Yeah. And where are the numbers to call? You must do, National Intelligence must do campaigns in different dialects. Let's say in Hausa dialect, for instance, you see people walking about, this is the number you call from the military, the police, the DSS, civil defense. They do in Igbo, do in Yoruba, do in Shekiri, do in Yoruba, because not everybody understands English. Yeah. When you do to that local dialect, they will not know, okay, if you see anything, call this number. And there will be instantaneous response. No, they'll call someone happy and say, we'll get back to you in 30 minutes time. The troop are there, they are in another location. When we'll get, no. See something, say something, do something. If all this is done, our military are proactive, we'll get results. Because they keep telling us today, they fought kidnapping in some place, fought terrorist attacks in some place, we're not seeing a result, and every day they still kidnap people. You cannot secure this. I think Nigeria is too small for them to say they can't secure the country. We need a 24 hours surveillance and a 24 hours ready, combat-ready forces to strike at any time. That's what we need, not waiting before they will not drive from one barrack. No. Their job is just to be ready for any emergencies as they receive the strike. What do you do? You seal up the area. That's how it's done. When the people are kidnapping in point A, you lock all exits to that point. You run around and leave people. When they come into a city that there's military blockage here, what do we do? leave everybody and they will abscond. But when there are loopholes, your borders are your porous, you're going to Turkey to tell them what? I didn't want to come back to secure your borders for you. The money we spend on renovating the villa, money we spend on buying private jet, if we put that money to secure our borders, not just by physical fencing, mount your 24-hour surveillance camera there, and a ready combined force that's ready to strike. People are, if you are coming in, how many? 20, you strike them. When you do 1, 2, 3 to know that these borders are becoming very tight. Yeah. Then because they enter, they go back to their, they collect ransom, they go back, use to buy vehicles and everything, import it back. The business is lucrative. Our financial institutions, they need to also help. Put trackers in ransom money. Yeah. Put print money direct from CB. Anybody that spends it, you arrest the person. What you do, because these people keep having a free day. That they'll come to TikTok to show you ransom that they collected. They'll be showing ransom that they collected. We're doing video. It's an aberration. It's a slap to our national security and architecture. And the NSA, if it's not ready to work, it should let off.
Okay, now still talking about working, I'm really a bit excited with your excitement and also your sincere approach to this discussion. Now, still talking about sincerity and what approach we should take. We've been funding the defense for the past 10 years, and defense as it concerns the budget still remains the largest. Like if you look at the 2026 budget, about 5.18 trillion naira was budgeted or allocated to defense of the 58.12 trillion that was budgeted for the 2026 fiscal year. But, people will say we can't win this war without proper funding. But we've been funding and funding and funding. And yet, it looks as if the more we try, the more we get bruises. But let's not get any sore throats or bleeding nose. Do you feel funding is a major problem? Or do you feel our problem is not funding, but rather our approach to things?
Funding and mismanagement of these funds.
Okay.
You can give an engineer 1 billion to build a duplex, and he might give you something below standard. Okay. And tells you he has done a good job for you. Yeah. You can also give another engineer 500 million to carry out a same building. It comes out very fine, using quality materials to build a house for you. Same way as security architecture is. You can put in 5 billion naira to buy arms. The man who receives the money splits it into 3. Use one part to buy arms and eat the other 2 parts. Where you're supposed to get, for example, like 10 armor tanks, it purchases 2 and write 8 off. Who suffers? The country suffers. But when there's accountability of purpose, this money is being disbursed. EFCC and ICPC follow this money, how it's been judicially used. You see generals having big estates in Abuja, in Asokoro, in all of these places, generals having big farms. How much is their salary? You see, police officers, some of them living above their means. How much do you earn? So in all of this, it has to do with the mismanagement of these funds. It's not enough to tell you you're giving us 5 trillion naira on the budget for defense alone, we'll now applaud. No. When this money is released from point A to point B, who monitors it?
And how does it go?
Because we've seen generals that have been indicted that they squandered their billions meant for the welfare of soldiers. And nobody has been jailed. You see, when people commit crime and they go scot-free, more people will commit it. Why are there laws? To serve as deterrence in society so that people will know that, okay, if I do this, the law will catch up with me. But when the law becomes docile to the feared, the high and mighty, they become very active for the poor, then we're running a very dangerous state. You saw Malami flaunting in court the other day. When was that the general? He also said Showore was arrested in front of the court by DSS. Now his eyes turn is crying wolf. And rule of law should maintain. What rule of law did he follow the rule of law when he was at the general of the country? This also nobody said accountable. Accountability, you see, it's so painful that we find ourselves in this country and this mess. I wonder how we've come this far that we're not the laughing stock of even smaller countries. The other, even Burkina Faso had our soldiers. Nigeria, that was were the US of African soil some decades ago. Were the pride of the African nation. But today we've been reduced to ridicule because we fail to place premium on human life and to leave politics, ethics sentiment aside and face the reality of ground. And they feel it's only for the poor. It will get to the rich. And when the poor no longer have got to feast on, they'll feast on the rich. Terrorists feasting on the rich, poor feasting on the rich, there will be an anarchy. So we must sit in a roundtable discourse to say, how do we salvage this country? Nigeria is a great country, blessed with mineral materials, blessed with great minds. But the level of embezzlement is baffling. Look at the Mayfair. You squandered billions, trillions of naira you built. If that money would be used to build a barrack, or even a modern facility where you produce smaller arms, we can even waste this bandit in some areas. You get a barrack where you produce small arms to hold. When Biafra was not the military that said they were war against the Biafras. So the ordinary bandits, ordinary Boko Haram that started in 1999 here, they've grown so strong, and they are causing menace in the entire country. And we're saying we're winning the war. Winning what war? Okay, now winning the war on paper. We're not winning the war in reality.
Now, still talking about reality, and that's where I want us to go next. Talking about reality, as it stands, we have one of the finest and most sound, dynamic Minister of Defense in Christopher Musa retired.
Agreed.
Many Nigerians, when he came on board, felt the narrative would change so instantly. And I hope they are not still defeated. But one of the major issues being pushed by General Musa is the issue of manpower and border security. Yes, those are the two major issues he's pushing on, and the need for our security servicemen to feel loved and appreciated. Those are the things he's fighting for. Now, this is where I want us to go. Yeah, you talked initially that your undermining funding is critical. Some of the money is being siphoned away, which means irrespective, funding is critical.
Yes,
now let's talk about the issue of moral and right thing to do as it concerns the soldiers, because they always pay the ultimate price, but we do not. They die for the nation when the time calls for them to do so, but we do not. But so let's look at how we can also rejig the welfare of these officers to feel like if they are not dying for anything. I know you spoke a bit, you even made comparison with the United States, yes. But let's stick with Nigeria. What should those in authority do as a concern of the welfare of these great Nigerians?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, our barracks must be well furnished. Okay. You know, a soldier sleeps and wakes up on, a rickety facility. No pep talk in the morning, no good meal, no health check, and the next thing is giving an order. You are moving right away to Borno, you are moving right away to Jigawa. Yes, sir. Start going. The man is not settled. The man is not happy. The man is not well fed. His family issues. You keep somebody 2 years, you're not going to see his family on the battlefield. Why? You should know the time a soldier will be at the battlefield. If you are doing 6 months, you know that in 6 months' time, I'm going to see my family. That gives him a sense of belonging. That okay, let me fight. Let's ensure we win this battle so I can go and reunite my family. And when the 6 months you see this order come that you are leaving now, somebody is taking over, and he goes home and time with family also helps to heal.
Yeah. Regenerates the mind.
You see your children, they laugh, you gist with them, tell them how the battlefield is, and all of that. You see this excitement. And they go back to the field again. Retraining and retraining. Our barracks are nothing to write them about. They're like a refurbished car with an old engine. When you get, like this asset, for example, you can put a new pouch, but it's an old phone. What does it do? It's same old result it will give to you. Make our barracks functional.
Okay.
Not just by putting armor tanks there. No. Lecture these guys. Let them go for training and retraining.
Yeah.
And also tell them, if it happens now, this is your welfare, this is your take-home pay. But they see how their old colleagues are being taken care of. And they try not to. I'm telling you, no soldier want to die in the battlefield anymore.
Yeah.
No soldier want to die in the battlefield. We saw in those days, that's what Kaduna and Zogo, brave military generals, they are ready to give their life in the battlefield. Today, I'm telling you that some of them even look for shade in the battlefield to say, maybe bullet not even touch me, because if it happens that you are in the hospital, the military will abandon you there. We are saying something that they are amputees. Nothing to write them about. If someone that amputee, he went to fight a battle, you make sure his life you build a house for him. You make sure his life is comfortable for him for the rest of his life. You have no regret. A policeman was attacked on duty and maybe he lost his sight. You make sure where his home and family is working for him for the rest of his life. But you abandon some of them, they turn to beggars. See, General crying in Abuja that day when he destroyed his house was lamenting. A general that have served a country for 35 years, weeping and wailing on TV. And they destroy my house, all my labor. How do you want the young ones to look at the system? Prioritize their own safety. The caregiver needs care.
Yeah.
The caregiver also needs care. They are defending our territory. They also need to be protected and defended as well. Not leaving them like that. No. Look at how the other brigadier general was ambushed that day. He might call for rescue. You are telling you are coming. You come and lift him. And you people wasted time. And from where he was, his information was sold out to bandits. And they went to that same point where he was hiding, and he was shot dead. Like the commoner, a brigadier general. A corner was more than an OD. About just said they should level the place. Other games, they're not missing serious, they are war. When it's Okwama, they came to Okwama, they level Okwama. When it's in the north, why is it taking them time to level those places? And we don't have forests there, we don't have big river. They are deserted. So you can see through. Why you carry people, you can't put you on bike, taking people to pass through Mubi, for example, Bukuru, Jos. You say you're not seeing them when they're passing. So there's no SIB, there's no police, there's no military intelligence, no DSS to say we're on trade, we just saw them now. Trade them with your drone. You don't even need to run enough to be following them. No. They are on track, they are on location. We are following them to where they are going to spend the night. Then you strike them at night. Know how many people that are harmed there, know the exit point and know the entrance point, and you go there and dislodge these people, and we have peace. When it comes to issue in the north, they are very docile to give reprisal attack. A brigadier general was killed till now, they don't level any place. But let it be on notice that a brigadier general was murdered in the east, on the south, on the southwest. You hear Operation Zanku Zanku. They will dislodge the full everybody there. Zanku everybody out of that place. So they're not being sincere with this fight.
Okay, well, Comrade Kelvin Ejumudo, I know we can go on and on talking about the issues, and time will definitely not even be enough for us to discuss about it, knowing how really critical some things are at the moment and how really we need to really step up the game, as you said, for our leaders to do more as it concerns improving or strengthening our security architecture, which is the bane of our discourse today. But anyway, I would also want to say we need to thank you specially, and with all regard, knowing that how really busy you are, but you need to always come honor our invitation, and not just only honor, but speak and talk about issues that bedevil us as a people. We're truly appreciative of your time with us. And also, we use this opportunity to also thank you for your push as it concerns human rights issues in the state.
Thank you very much.
Seeing your good job, and we just need to really commend you on that.
Thank you.
Most grateful. Well, anyway, I'll just say it's a wrap on the show. Thank you for coming. And like I said, we'll seek for your time any other time.
I'm available.
We'll be more than happy to have you.
Thank you.
Well, anyway, like I said, it's a wrap on the show today. We talked about strengthening our Nigerian architecture, and our guests had really had a lot to talk about, from the issue of proper funding and no diversion of such funds to the issue of the improved welfare of our servicemen and women who at the end pay the ultimate price if needed. We need to ensure that they are being catered for And not only that, but sincerity on the part of government to ensure that this really monster ravaging us is not only to be solved by us seeking for foreign help, but also to be solved by us being sincere to heart on the issues that concerns us as it concerns security. Well, anyway, I always say, don't let the discourse end now, right here and now. You can always send your suggestions, comments, and reactions to our different social media platforms. That, funny enough, is already on the screen. Let's get your take as it concerns what needs to be done to strengthen our security architecture, and how can we do so, as much as other lovely trending stories that have come your way always. I still remain Mike Egobadia. I'll tell you, don't go anywhere. Stick around, still remain with us. News will come around the hour. As much as trending will follow right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.